But I once again ask colleagues not to make noise when exiting the chamber. President Michel, you have the floor.
Madam President of the European Parliament, Madam President of the Commission, dear members of the European Parliament, 1 month of war, 1 month of death, destruction and suffering, 1 month of Russian terror against the people of Ukraine, and 1 month of the democratic world rising up with full force to condemn Russia and to stand against this barbaric and immoral war. Mariupol, like other cities, Mariupol will forever be engraved in the history of martyr towns. A theater bombed, an art school bombed, where so many people took refuge, 90% of the city damaged or destroyed, residents held hostage by Russian troops, no food, no water, no electricity, no heating. Mariupol, 1 month ago, a vibrant city, and today, in ruins. Dear colleagues, Russia is responsible for this war. Russia alone. Targeting women, children, civilians. These are crimes. And those responsible will face international justice. No impunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not alone in condemning this brutal war. Far from it. The EU, along with our partners and allies, is rock solid in our solidarity for Ukraine. For 1 month, an international coalition has risen up to denounce this war. Nations, businesses, citizens, the United Nations, together, we have one common goal: to defeat Vladimir Putin. Putin thought he would conquer Ukraine in a few days, and he was wrong. He thought he would divide the EU and our allies, and he was wrong, because the people of Ukraine are fighting bravely, defending their homes and the future of their children, defending their democracy, and defending our European common values. The European Union, with our allies, we stand as one, and we are taking action against the Kremlin. With our international partners, we have imposed the heaviest sanctions we have ever adopted, hitting the financial system, crippling key economic sectors, and cracking down on supporters of the regime, freezing Russia's foreign reserves, banning banks from SWIFT. The ruble has plummeted, multinationals are fleeing, and sanctions on Russian companies and on decision makers, propagandists, oligarchs, freezing their EU assets, banning their travel in the EU, targeting their yacht, their villas, their private jets. And we are implementing these sanctions and working to close the loopholes that provide an escape for Russia. And we are prepared to do more to starve Putin's war machine. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, the Ukrainian people are battling for their freedom and will not abandon them, because this is our political and moral duty. They are fighting not only for themselves, but they are fighting for our common values and principles. In Versailles 2 weeks ago, we decided to increase our humanitarian, political, financial and material support to Ukraine. Over 3 million people have fled to the EU, mostly women and children, and we are welcoming them with dignity, and will continue to offer them any assistance they need and show solidarity with the countries on the front line. And will also continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine with €1 billion already mobilized through the European Peace Facility. We also have a very powerful tool in our association agreement with Ukraine, and we must make the most of it. Just last week, we continued our support in the energy sector by connecting Ukraine and Moldova to our European electricity grid. We have also worked intensely on the diplomatic front to try to end this war. President Macron and Chancellor Scholz have also played an important role in our diplomatic efforts, and I speak to President Zelensky nearly every day, and I've spoken with President Putin multiple times, and the goal is clear. This war must end. Our Ukrainian friends are also asking for another kind of help. This is political help. Ukraine is part of our European family, and we agreed to support the European choice of Ukraine and its right to choose its own destiny. We have decided to immediately strengthen our bonds and deepen our partnership, and to support Ukraine in pursuing its European path. We have proposed to launch a Ukraine Solidarity Trust Fund and an international donors conference to provide support to Ukraine for its immediate needs and to help rebuild a free and democratic Ukraine. Et mesdames et messieurs, nous aurons l'occasion d'aborder ces thèmes demain lors de la réunion du G7 et du Conseil européen. Enfin, quelques éléments concernant cet agenda de Versailles qui, je le crois, représente un élan pour une ambition de souveraineté européenne. Nous savons tous ici que la promesse qui fonde le projet européen est celle de la paix et de la prospérité. Nous savons tous ici que les dernières années, dans cette Assemblée, avec le Conseil, on a travaillé de concert pour engager la transformation du projet européen en termes de prospérité, prenant en compte l'agenda climatique, prenant en compte l'agenda digital, et nous savons combien le Covid a fait pression sur nous, a révélé nos forces, a montré nos faiblesses et nous a engagés à montrer plus de solidarité encore, plus d'ambition encore pour cet agenda européen. Nous avons à Versailles identifié nos points de force et nos points de faiblesse et identifié l'agenda et la méthode de travail pour progresser au départ du Conseil, et nous le souhaitons avec la Commission et le Parlement en étroite coordination. Il y a 3 points particulièrement que je souhaite mettre en évidence. Le premier point, nous le voyons brutalement, même si nous ne le découvrons pas avec cette guerre, nous avons une faiblesse sur le plan énergétique, et ça montre la justesse de ce choix lié au Green Deal, à notre ambition d'être davantage indépendants sur ce sujet à l'avenir, mais sans attendre cette neutralité climat, il nous appartient immédiatement de prendre les mesures pour renforcer dans ce domaine notre résilience, notre indépendance, de sortir progressivement de notre dépendance, spécialement au gaz russe. Ce sujet sera bien sûr au cœur de nos débats dès demain et après-demain au Conseil européen. Le deuxième sujet, nous le voyons bien, c'est la question de la sécurité et de la paix qui y est liée, et donc la question de l'Europe de la défense. Nous savons que depuis de nombreuses années, des voix se sont élevées avec plus ou moins de force pour plaider ce rapprochement entre pays européens pour développer davantage de capacités européennes en matière de défense et de sécurité. Des premiers instruments ont été instaurés, ont été mis en place, mais nous le voyons bien, il faut maintenant changer de régime, il faut changer de vitesse. Et je suis totalement convaincu que cette décision, qui a été prise avec courage par les 27 leaders européens, la mise en place, au travers de la facilité paix, d'une capacité de livrer du matériel militaire, est un pas en avant substantiel qui montre que l'Europe peut disposer, si nous le souhaitons, d'une réelle capacité d'influence et de puissance au service de la paix et au service de nos valeurs. Et enfin, mesdames et messieurs, le troisième élément, nous le voyons bien, il touche à la robustesse de notre base économique. Si nous sommes en mesure de prendre des mesures qui touchent le régime à Moscou, c'est parce que nous représentons une force économique, 450 millions de consommateurs, un marché intérieur puissant, avec des points de force, avec des atouts qui sont indiscutables, mais c'est vrai, soyons lucides, avec quelques points de faiblesse et de fragilité qu'il faut rapidement corrigées. C'est le sens du travail qui est mené étroitement avec la Commission, avec le Conseil et, je l'espère, avec vous aussi au départ du Parlement européen. Les microprocesseurs, voilà un sujet auquel nous devons être engagés pour développer les technologies qui, demain, vont fonder la différence, garder cette capacité d'innovation. Le secteur de la santé. On a vu à quel point la santé touche directement notre capacité de bien-être collectif, mais aussi la capacité de soutenir notre base économique. Sur tous ces sujets-là et sur quelques autres, nous allons aussi continuer à progresser, continuer à avancer. Vous le voyez, Madame la Présidente, Mesdames et Messieurs les parlementaires, il est certain que les quelques dernières années n'ont pas été de tout repos pour le monde et pour l'Europe. La conscience d'une transformation climatique et digitale, une crise mondiale, le Covid, une pandémie qui nous a ébranlés, pour laquelle nous avons résisté, nous avons tenté de tirer un certain nombre d'enseignements, y compris en termes de relance économique et de volonté de travailler davantage ensemble. Et puis nous sommes réveillés, toutes et tous, il y a un mois, avec une Europe différente, avec un monde différent. Parce qu'à nouveau, la guerre se déploie sur le sol européen. Nous avons la conscience de notre responsabilité et d'être à la hauteur de ce moment parce que nous avons la conscience que les décisions que nous prenons aujourd'hui doivent être intelligentes, doivent être stratégiques pour faire en sorte que nous soyons à la hauteur de cette promesse de l'Union européenne, la paix et la prospérité. Je vous remercie.
Thank you, President Michel. I give the floor now to the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen.
Thank you, Madam President, Mr. President, honourable members. Every day we watch in horror the images coming from besieged Ukrainian cities, the devastation of Mariupol, Kharkiv, and the outskirts of Kiev. But let me take you for a moment beyond the front line into occupied Ukraine. After the siege and the shelling, the reality of occupation is just as terrifying. Fresh food has become a luxury. Hospitals and pharmacies are running out of medicines. Hundreds of people have been detained by Russian occupation forces. And yet, every day, thousands of Ukrainians keep taking the streets to protest against the invasion. In Kherson, in Berdyansk, in Melitopol, they are waving their blue and yellow flags in the faces of the occupying soldiers. And they haven't stopped, even after Russian soldiers have beaten them and shot some of them down. Honourable members, if freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine, and the Ukrainian flag is the flag of freedom today. All our efforts are aimed at making this war a strategic failure for Putin. And this is why Member States agreed to assign €1 billion for security assistance to the brave Ukrainian fighters. But supporting Ukraine also means draining the resources that Putin is using to finance his atrocious war. Last week, we decided on a fourth package of unprecedented sanctions. We are denying Russia the status of most favoured nation and severely restricting its access to our markets, because Russia should not benefit from the very same rules-based order that it is so grossly violating. We are stopping new European investment across Russia's energy sector, because we should not be reinforcing the energy dependency that we want to put behind us. We continue to pressure Russian elites close to Putin by hunting down their yachts, prestigious villas and expensive cars, because those who sustain Putin's war should not be able to enjoy the lavish lifestyle while bombs are falling on Ukraine. These measures come on top of 3 other packages of sanctions. They are already biting hard into the Russian economy. The ruble has plummeted to an all-time low earlier this month. Interest rates are above 20%. Rating agencies have downgraded Russian bonds to junk status. Hundreds of global companies are leaving Russia because they don't want to feed Putin's war of choice. This, honourable members, is the legacy that Putin will leave behind in Russia. He has become the worst enemy of the Russian people too. But first and foremost, he is responsible for the human tragedy in Ukraine. Until now, more than 3 million people have left Ukraine, half of them children. Every second, a child from Ukraine arrives in our union. Every second. So while I'm speaking to you here in the heart of the European democracy, 800 children are leaving Ukraine. Courageous, traumatized, and in need of help. They leave behind their brothers and fathers, not knowing whether they will see them again. And it is heartening to see the pan-European wave of solidarity for our Ukrainian friends. I applaud the enormous generosity of all Europeans, all member states, and Moldova. At the European level, we will mobilize massive resources to support member states hosting people fleeing the war. We've made sure that the regional development and cohesion funds and REACT-EU can be used with the greatest flexibility so that cities and regions can invest in schools, housing and healthcare. And many, many thanks for your support. I just saw this is up to 17 billion that we are moving now. Many thanks to you. But I think this is not enough. We now propose to accelerate 3.4 billion euros to front-load liquidity to our member states that are showing such exceptional solidarity. So I count on you, honourable members, to greenlight this money quickly. This will send a strong message of our common commitment to supporting the Ukrainian people. And honourable members, we should be clear-eyed about what lies ahead of us. Our continent is being rocked by a tectonic shift not seen since the fall of the Berlin Wall. The consequences of this war on Europe's security architecture will be far-reaching. And I'm not just talking about security in military terms, but also energy security and even food security are at stake. So let me start with energy. Energy policy is also security policy. And that's why the Commission has proposed measures that would allow us to significantly reduce our gas imports from Russia. This is very ambitious, but we can achieve it. We have already set a clear path to do this, and we are now accelerating. With our new proposal, Repower EU, we can speed up this transition even more. First, by fast-tracking renewable projects, this is a strategic investment in our security, including hydrogen and biogas. Second, by speeding up investment in energy efficiency. Everyone can contribute in reducing our dependency on Russian gas. And third, by diversifying our gas supply away from Russian gas towards reliable suppliers. Tomorrow I will discuss with President Biden how to prioritize LNG deliveries from the United States to the European Union in the coming months. We are aiming at having a commitment for additional supplies for the next 2 winters. Honourable members, we are stronger when we use the power of our single market and deliver solidarity. And in that spirit, we have just presented proposals to jointly tackle one of our root causes of the energy crisis, and these are the high and volatile gas prices. We are proposing common gas procurement and stricter rules for storage. Because instead of outbidding each other and driving prices up, we should pull our common weight and start buying gas together as European, not 27 different member states. And in addition, we should use our gas storage facilities in some member states of our union to secure the gas supplies everywhere in our union. This will not only benefit the member states where those tanks are located, but also their neighbours. Take the Baltics, for example. Lithuania has one of the biggest LNG terminals in the region, while Latvia boasts massive underground storage facilities. So already today, LNG gas arriving in Klaipėda is used to fill storage facilities in Latvia, and of course, customers in neighbouring Estonia benefit as well. This is the way to go. And finally, the effects of the Russian war go beyond energy, of course. They are also disrupting vital food supplies and driving food prices up. The European Union has assigned at least 2.5 billion euros until 2024 to help regions across the world facing food insecurity. And this morning we decided on a wide range of special measures to help European farmers. We will table a package of 500 million euros to support those most affected by the crisis. We should not forget that Ukraine alone provides more than half of the World Food Programme's wheat supply. The shelling and the bombing makes it impossible for Ukrainian farmers to sow. On top of that, Putin is blocking hundreds of ships filled with wheat in the Black Sea. So the consequences will be felt from Lebanon, Egypt and Tunisia to Africa and the Far East. And I call on Putin to let those ships go. Otherwise, he will not only be responsible for war and death, but also for famine and hunger. Let these ships go. Honourable members, tonight will mark the first month of the Russian invasion. Since the very first day, Europe has stood united, and let's continue to do so. If there's anything that Putin did not anticipate, then it's our unity, the speed of our action and our determination. He should be in no doubt that we will stay the course. Long live unity and long live Europe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President von der Leyen. I give the floor now to the representatives of the political groups, starting with Manfred Weber on behalf of the EPP Group.